Hello, Hornets. It's that time of the year. One of the biggest dates in the diary. You think of Christmas, you think of anniversaries, you think of weddings, birthdays, and then you have Watford 2025-26 keep sell or loan. And I think that might top the lot. Sam, Ucko, Charlie Zazzera, and myself, Jacob Culshaw, to break it down over the next hour. Now, if you're not familiar with the concept, we've done this. Chaos. I'm getting a bit excited because it's one of the biggest videos of the year. Now, if you're not familiar with the concept, keep, sell or loan, we'll have a spreadsheet of every single player in the Watford squad at this moment in time. Now, look, some of them are on the verge of leaving. We can't help that. But Sam, Charlie, and myself are going to break it down, pick whether they should stay, loan, or sell. It's in the title anyway. Sam, for you, it's one of the biggest videos of the year. Why?
It's always the one of the most enjoyable ones. Yeah, I feel like with Watford, particularly, I mean, not even since sort of 2012, 13 when the Pozzos came in, but every summer seems to be chaotic, unpredictable. It's impossible to predict who the starting 11 will become come the start of next season. It will probably include players that we've never heard of in our lives. It will probably include some players that we sort of wish moved on this summer as well. So, yeah, it's always a really, really exciting summer because with Watford, as well as lots of people coming in, you can guarantee that there'll be a few people moving on as well. So, yeah, looking forward to giving our views and thoughts. I mean, this must be the fifth or sixth time that we've done it together, us three?
I think so. I think the first one was 2020. So maybe fourth, Charlie. But as Stuart says in the comment section, this is the big one. Charlotte's joining us, one of our moderators. Looking forward to this. Why are you looking forward to this, Charlie? If you are.
Yeah, am I? Before that, I was just trying to unwind from doing so. I was working this morning covering like Champions League stuff, and so I was trying to unwind in the afternoon. So I put Shrek 2 and then followed by Shrek the Third on, which wanted me to ask a question. What's your two favourite animated or Pixar or DreamWorks film?
Can we only have one?
Yeah.
Sam?
Ratatouille. Easy. Unbelievable. Yeah. What a fantastic film. A brilliant piece of cinema.
I haven't seen it.
Never seen Ratatouille, Charlie. Oh my word. All right. Next season, if Watford are getting battered one game, we'll leave early, go and watch Ratatouille, and it will be the best 2 hours of your life. A fantastic film, fantastic piece of cinematography. Can't really fault it. And yeah, credit to everyone involved.
I echo that. I will also go with Ratatouille's in my top three. But I tell you why Incredibles just beats it. Because you're not talking about one film, you're talking about two and multiple editions of the same movie. And I think automatically that puts you above a singular one-off film. So The Incredibles for me is probably the pinnacle. Huge shout out to Monster Inc., who have to be part of the conversation as well. Anyone else, Charlie?
I mean,
respect from a Toy Story fan.
I mean, that's huge.
I'll share my screen here, but one of the reasons I love Ratatouille as well, certain Mr. Will Hughes is in it as well. Yeah, Hughesy with a cameo in that film. So, yeah, always a good one to watch.
Sam,
FA Cup winner and actor.
Oh, it's me. I was not expecting that. Incredible. Just to, throw a few other ones into the mix. We've got Cars, obviously, as well.
Overrated.
You think?
Yeah, I think with Cars 2, it went on a bit of an Imran loser redemption arc, but then it sort of let itself down again, I feel like, in the following ones.
I mean, we can't leave Finding Nemo out of this either.
Have you seen Encanto, which is fairly new?
I haven't.
No.
Recommend it. Anyway, should we get on to the video?
I mean, do you know what? What I will ask is, if you had one Watford player in the current squad for you to pick as the main leading character in a Pixar movie, who would it be and why? Or who would you want? Now, for me, I would, just for the hair alone, I'd go Imran Loser. It's an unbelievable on it. And I think maybe like a Prince Charming vibe, he'd be phenomenal in that role. I think he'd really lean into it.
Matty Pollock in a Wreck-It Ralph kind of vibe.
Amazing. God, that is a great question, Jacob. Ooh.
I've just realised Prince Charming is Disney, by the way. That's good for me.
Yeah, I think Matty's a great shout. I think he said in the past as well that his favourite film was Paddington. So yeah, I think he fits the vibe quite well.
Oof. Oh, Ian's on it. Ian's on
Batman Kung Fu
it.
Oh, I saw that one in the corner of my eye there.
Perfect warm up for today's episode. So we'll get straight into it. There's a lot to discuss, a lot to break down. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday evening. I'm sure you had a lot of offers, a lot of things to do. You've ended up spending the next hour with us talking about Watford, which we always really, really appreciate. And if you do go and enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts, all that good stuff. One thing to mention before we get into things, thank you so much to everyone who donated to our Hearts Mind campaign. £1,135 raised across the season. It was £1 for every goal Watford scored. There were some people who did the opposite for every goal we conceded, and some people who just chucked in £100 out of nowhere. And actually, a huge shout out to one account that was anonymous who donated a huge amount of money, over £100, and a huge shout out to Andrew French, who took our tally up to £1,000 as well, the Watford Observer correspondent, which we really, really do appreciate. And Laura Goods as well was another one I wanted to shout out because she put in a great bit of money as well. So if anyone wants to chip in, we're wrapping that up very, very soon. Link is in the description below. And it's been a really positive season in terms of the charity events, the charity raising. I think it's like £66,000 we've raised alongside other people going towards some really, really important mental health charities in the local area. So a huge shout, and I'm sure we'll be back next season to do it all over again. In that spirit, Sam, pre-season friendlies, there's been a couple announced. Surprisingly, Stevenage isn't on there, but Bournemouth away and Leyton Orient away are the two.
Yeah, decent ones. I mean, when was the last? Don't know if the club put a picture of this out. I think it was actually for the last time we played Wrexham, but I can't remember the last time we would have played Leyton Orient away from home either. I mean, we must be going back at Brisbane Road. Yeah, it must be going back years now. Yeah, not too sure on that one, but a new ground name, Boreham Wood, the banker, the no-brainer. We all knew that was going to happen, didn't we? So yeah, pretty typical. I mean, what I found more interesting about the statement, the sort of vibe that I got from it, was that those might potentially be the only two that fans get to go to. I'm not too sure on that, but I feel like we might be playing. I think last year was almost a bit of an exception, actually, because we played 6 or 7 games in front of fans. If you remember, we had trips to Gillingham, Boreham Wood, Stevenage, Hibs, obviously. We played Brentford at home, and I felt that was quite a rare. Wickham as well. It was quite rare for fans, I feel like, to be able to go to so many pre-season games with Watford. But I think this year we're going to be reverting back to playing more games behind closed doors.
Just on Leyton Orient, the last time Watford played Leyton Orient, if anyone can get it in the comment section, you are unbelievable, was February 1982 in Division 2, and Watford won 3-1. So that is the last time the two teams met in a competitive fixture. Anyway, Charlie, you going to get to any pre-season games?
No.
Good. Sam, where are you going to be for pre-season?
I love pre-season, you know.
You're not going to be in the country, are you?
No, I'm not going to be in the country. I'm heading off again on some travels for the next couple of months. However, I am back on. I think I land back on a Thursday, and the season starts that weekend. So I won't be missing any competitive action. Straight to Hull away. If you remember last year, viewers of the channel will remember I literally landed back from Sydney on the morning, and the following morning I was on the way to Hull, which was a rough experience with the performance as well. But yeah, things we do for this football club.
Do you know what?
Dream first game of the season this year?
Ooh, Charlton away.
That's what I was thinking.
Decent. I was going to say Norwich away. I think Norwich is a great one in the sun. The away pub, the Wetherspoons, is on their canal, I think it is. And it's always a good one. It's always a good one, Norwich. Yeah, I quite enjoy Norwich first game.
Shout out the Golden Triangle in Norwich, great spot as well. Dara Kida with a comment. I'm a bit confused, lads. With this transfer window, is it open right now, or does it start on the 16th? Now, Charlie, you're a man who lives and breathes the game. Not saying you don't, Sam, but you know that you would know this, I'm sure.
It's open today because of the Club World Cup. I don't know when it shuts, but I think it shuts like during the Club World Cup, or there's a date and it reopens again. So yeah, you'll see a few transfers that are going through now, like Tommy Watson, who's been confirmed to Brighton. But yeah, it is open for select time, which is like the first time because of the expanded Club World Cup. So where are the transfers? Come on.
Where are they? Get them going. Caden with a lovely comment as well. All these pre-season games are so boring. Agreed. We need to go abroad. Non-league clubs have gone to Spain. Get us out to Italy and play all types of teams. We should also play Udinese. Do you remember when we all had to, like, was it Austria? It was like a regular pre-season camp. And I always thought, like, if there was an opportunity to go to the games, I'd be there. And correct me if I'm wrong. Someone in the comment section surely will know this. I think the last time fans went out to watch Watford abroad for pre-season was 2014-15 pre-season or 2015-16. And I feel like there were a few fans floating about. That's quite a niche sort of reference. I do just remember thinking it looks unbelievable watching Watford abroad.
Yeah, there was a couple. I remember this must have been, it was either pre the FA Cup final season or pre the season before under Marco Silva. In the somewhere deep in the Austrian mountains, we beat Ajax season they got to the Champions League semi-final.
2019-20 from Ben.
That was it. Well, it might have been, I think it was 18-19. We beat Ajax in pre-season and they got to the Champions League semi-final. We got to the FA Cup final. We all know what happened then.
And that was the pre-season when Ben Foster went viral singing Santander Funky Friday, wasn't it?
I think so. God.
Goodness me. A blast from the past, indeed. Right, okay. One last thing before we get into it. I know we kept you waiting. We've talked about movies. We always go on tangents on this podcast. But one thing I wanted to share with you is the latest on Gino Pozzo's sale of Udinese. Now, there's been rumours flying around that this is getting closer and closer. According to Sasha Tevalieri, who is a journalist, football journalist. So we kind of read it at face value. One of the world's largest investment funds is on the verge of acquiring Udinese after reaching a €184.7 million agreement with the Pozzo family. US-based Guggenheim Partners has decided to launch football investment group with Udinese as its flagship club. It says that although a deal was finalised on April the 15th, the Italian Football Federation still needs to approve the acquisition for Udinese can officially announce the sale. Sam, reading that, there's a lot of money going into Gino Pozzo's back pocket, which you like to think will clear the debts that are kind of surrounding the club. But then I guess the question for us as fans is how much will that be reinvested back into Paolo Pezzolano's Hornets?
Yeah, I still think this is a wider aim for the Pozzo family just to get out of football completely. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of it reinvested because I think that, like I've said before, I think they're going to hope to have sold the club by the end of next season. And the reason why that they're putting so much into it at the moment and we're seeing us move quickly in the transfer market is because they hope to cash in while we're in the Premier League. That's just what I think. So yeah, I think it's part of a wider scheme for them to get out of football completely. So I'm not too sure how much of it we're going to see reinvested.
Charlie, anything you've kind of learned since this has come out?
Yeah, no, I just done a quick Google to see who that what they investment funding, who they are, and I think one of the leading guys was on the part of the consortium of Clear Lake for Chelsea. So I don't know if that's actually a conflict of interest because I saw like a comment on social media saying, is it potential that they might go on to buy us? But I don't know if that's a conflict of interest if they've got some kind of relationship with Chelsea and us being in the same pyramid. So I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, interesting times because, how long have they been at Udinese? Years and years and years. So I also read Andrew French's piece he done back end of last week about Gino Pozzo kind of freshening things up. Could change be good, which is an interesting read. Make sure you check that out. But yeah, fascinating time at the moment. I've still got a few doubts about things, but definitely slightly more intrigued than I was this time last week.
We shall see. We shall see. It does feel like the wheel's in motion for that one. Someone also did make a more important point. Technically, we did play Hibs last year, lads, so we did go. We did leave the country. So that's fair to say. And you went, didn't you, Sam?
I did, yeah. I went without a hotel, and we were out for the majority of the night and got a 6 a.m. flight home.
Legend.
Which was, it was a great one. Great away day.
Superb. Right, let's get on to it. Keep Sell alone for 2025-26. I don't know about you, lads. Every time I say that about like 25-26, I can't believe we've reached this season. You know, when you're like 10 years ago, Quique Sanchez Flores was coming through the building. Where's the time going? Where is the time going? I would have been 13. Charlie, you would have been
22.
Sam, you would have been
12. Yeah.
Incredible. Quique was going to walk through the door. I've had it on good authority as well that he had the best
Quique Sanchez Flores.
What a boy.
Let's get straight into it. Melanie, shout out to you. You're 16, 2026. Where is the time going, eh? Right, we get onto it. Let's do it. So, if you are watching on YouTube, you will see a spreadsheet. This is from last season. If you're listening on audio, we will try to explain it as best as possible. But if you could head over to YouTube, you'll see the graphic. There will be another video to come about 5 players Watford should sign for Paolo Pezzolano's Hornets, which will do.
You're on the wrong tab, Jacob.
I know, but I wanted to.
Was that sorry, just going right, Jacob, on our predicted or players Watford should sign? Was that Liam Delap's name at the top there? I think at the top, if you keep going right.
He's come through. Liam Delap made the list. I just wanted to show this, Charlie, because this was last year, and this was the squad that we kind of came to. I mean, you can look at the notable absentees. There was no Imran Loser. I mean, yeah, it was a pretty. Oh no, okay. So we did the 5 players Watford should sign, and then we looked at these are the players that we thought we'd keep. Sam, reflecting on it.
That defense, wow, unbelievable.
Just follow.
I can't remember, did we say this sort of? Because I'm trying to think at what point we did this. Was it roughly at the same time? Because I'm trying to remember saying that we sold Wesley Hu, but I'm not too sure on that. I do remember that we did sort of wipe out the majority of the defence though. It's just the one-man backline of Matty Pollock in there.
That was the list.
Oh, this was the list here. Amazing.
So that was sort of who we thought we'd keep, who we thought we'd loan, and who we thought we'd sell. And the big one here, Imran Loser.
I don't know. Look at the loan list as well.
KB.
Goodness me.
What stinkers are we going to predict today?
When I remember when Bar's name came up, and I did sit there going, I completely forgot he still played for us. So yeah, nice little resurgence for him this year.
Ian does make a good point that it was done after visits to Mad Squirrel. Make sure to check out our partners as well. Lovely, just integration there from you, Ian. And we move on to this year, which is 25-26. Can you guys see that okay? So we're going to break it up from goalkeepers, defenders, midfield attackers. You know the drill by now. We don't have the white ball, which Jack has mentioned. I do apologise, but this is the only way we can do it all together. What we're going to do is I'm going to read the name out. Charlie's going to give his answer. Sam's going to give his answer, and I'll give mine. There is obviously some which we'll all agree on, so we'll try and not spend as much time on those. But there'll be some debatable ones. So we'll start with Eagle Selvik, who joins permanently in January. Charlie,
keep next.
Agreed.
Yeah, there are a few really, really easy ones on here. Eagle Selvik, keep 100%.
I don't even think we need to discuss that one, lads. Really? Okay. Daniel Batman is a more divisive name in terms of Watford fan base. Charlie.
Yeah, I think all signs are suggesting that Dan's going to be leaving the club this summer. There's been rumours in the last week that Norwich are looking at him. I know they've got rid of Angus Gunn. I don't think they've got a first-team goalkeeper at the moment. And I just think time's kind of had its course with Dan, and especially with Selvik coming in and doing so well. So if the club can sell him and get a bit of money in, I think that's good, best for all parties. Even Dan, really, he needs to be playing first-team football. So a sell, which I don't think any of you two are going to disagree with.
Yeah, you're spot on with that, Charlie. I think, it's probably time for Batman's time at Watford to come to an end. I do think that he has been a good servant in respect to he's been particularly off the pitch, a good character by all accounts that I hear at least. So, but it's probably the right time for him to move on and go and play some minutes somewhere else.
30 years old. Contract runs out in 2028, 3 years left. There's a World Cup coming up as well, which I'm sure he'll want to be part of the Austria squad in some capacity. I think it's a no-brainer, and I think it's one that suits all parties, really. Watford get a fee. He gets first-team football. it looks like it's going to be Norwich or a team in the Championship. And I think I agree with the lads. It will be a sell for Daniel Bachmann as well. Miles Roberts is an interesting one because he spent the first half out on loan in Scotland. Second half was at Bristol Rovers, but didn't get much game time. Sam, you spoke to him. You met him with Charlie when you did the player fitness ranking. And would you like to see him involved in the squads in some capacity, or do you think another loan would be beneficial?
Yeah, a really, really nice guy, but a bizarre loan to Bristol Rovers, where I think they signed 2 goalkeepers on the same day, and one might have been a bit more experienced than Roberts, so he was never going to play realistically, which was a bit of an odd choice. I don't know who made the choice for him to go to Bristol Rovers, who obviously eventually got relegated as well. So I'm not sure if it was the best environment for him to be in. Yeah, I think probably another loan period would be good for him.
Agreed, Charlie.
Yeah, he done really, really well. Was he at Ross? Was it Ross County? What?
I think it was Partick Thistle.
Partick Thistle. He done really well there. Their fans loved him. So I think there's a good goalkeeper in there, but he needs to be playing first team football. So yeah, I'd like to see another League One loan for him. I think that'd be a good level for him to learn. But yeah, a loan for me.
And with Nathan Baxter pretty much all but done, it looks like he'll be second choice, which then means we'll need a third choice, which will be Alfie Marriott. Unless you lads, I mean, we don't really have another keeper, so we'll have to be 3. Stuart says Marriott's contract is up this summer, I believe. The goalkeeper performed great for under-18, so I don't think we will keep Marriott because of Morris, the under-18s keeper. So that's just one to keep an eye on. Look, we'll go Marriott to keep, but obviously the third choice keeper is always quite a fluid position that can change quite quickly. And then we have a man who looks to be already off, Sam. This one, I mean, we're going to have to go with Sell because he is off. It looks like Francisco Sierralta is off to Auxerre in France for 1.5 million, roughly.
Jacob, I'm loving your pronunciations. Have really done well for you over the last 6 months.
Was it a little bit more? One, two.
God, no, I think I said at the back end of last season, I think it's probably time for Sierralta to move on. A brilliant servant for Watford. Very, very rarely has let us down. Was part of one of the, I mean, statistically, up until this season, it was the best ever Championship defence alongside William Troost-Ekong, Kiko, and Adam Messina. But yeah, he probably time to move on. I still believe he feels like he's a lot older, but he's only 27, 28. Feels like he's a lot older, but yeah, at this sort of time in his career where he can still perform to his peak, he's probably going to want guaranteed first team minutes.
28 years old, Charlie. Literally just a month ago, he turned 28. I mean, what a servant for Watford, I have to say. I think when you talk about sort of cult hero, maybe. I think that's probably his. I think it's 109 appearances for Watford, and I think to get to 100 club is pretty impressive. For him, and also as Sam said, he was a massive part of that promotion-winning team. But do you feel like that this is the right time for all parties because his contract runs out in 2 years? We get a decent fee for him, but I guess his lack of game time means a choice had to be made, right?
First Clevs and now this, the Chilean pillar, the divine ponytail. Farewell, sweet prince. I think he's been a really good player and a player who's never really been a mainstay in the first team, but you never hear him wanting to he looked like an ultimate professional. Like he is a Chilean international as well. So yeah, I think it's been a great servant, but yeah, I think if we can get a fee for him, probably is the right time. And on a side note, Jacob, can you smart up this list, putting names in like random, you're giving my OCD an absolute, get some order in there.
What's wrong with it?
You putting them here than everywhere. Get a nice orderly queue going.
Oh, you're saying what? So you want it like this?
Yeah, nice.
Okay. No worries. Was anybody else?
Sierralta leaving and now that I can't cope.
Was anybody
the worst
else
possible start to the summer for Charlie?
It's an absolute stinker, isn't it? Travis Akamia, who's in the under-23s, we'll go with keep, right?
No.
Yeah, I think so. He's come back from Chelsea, hasn't he? I think he's quite highly regarded. He came back in January on deadline day. I don't know if I think he's captained the side, and I think he's been with the first team squad at times. So maybe not alone yet, but I think he is one to watch. I think they rate him highly.
Pollock, we're not even going to do. Done. keep. James Claridge, Sam, I'm going to give you the honour of being
If anyone doesn't know why we're laughing, I think our predictions for last season, I think I said, might have been my hot take was that James Claridge would come into the first team and be a regular starter for us or something like that. And played the exact sum of 0 minutes, I believe. I was impressed with him last pre-season, but yeah, probably a loan, I think, for James Claridge.
We'll go with that. We're getting through these quickly. Jack did say that you saw him at St Albans. Sam, Claridge was class at St Albans, to be fair, one of our better players.
He played at Hibs, didn't he? He played like a couple of nice like line breaking passes, and it's like this guy's the truth. But yeah, maybe another loan, maybe a League Two loan. Getting playing some EFL football against some absolute brutes could leave him in good stead.
Charlie, talk to me about Kevin Caben.
Whenever he's played, I think he's been pretty good. Looked really encouraging. Even that Portsmouth game away when he got sent off, it was a bit untidy, but I thought in the game he actually played pretty well. I'm just concerned about his fitness. The fact that I don't know how many minutes he's played for us, but it seems like every time he plays, he gets injured the next game. Him and Banquo's performance, Middlesbrough away, was pretty heroic considering the form we came off there. And even he played against Luton, didn't he, as well? And he was really good. So if we can keep him fit, him, Pollock, and we're going to come on to a Banquo. I know he's on the list. Doesn't actually belong to us, but if we can keep those three as a nice trio to start as centre halves, I think that's a really, really good foundation.
6 appearances, Sam, since his move from Toulouse. 3 years left in his deal. He's 21 years of age. I think I'm leaning towards keep here, Sam. Just in terms of look, we had someone. I think someone made a really good point about Jeremy Ngakia, who was very injury prone, and actually last season he was a regular fixture for us in the team. I think it'd be a shame to move him on just yet, and I think the fact that Middlesbrough away was a fantastic performance from Caben. So there's clearly a player there, right? But it's just getting in regular game time. So do you disagree with keep?
100%. I think keep him. I think there's definitely a player there. I think he's got some really, really strong attributes for not just the Championship, but I think also he's got those attributes where as he develops them and as he and hopefully he avoids injuries, I think there's a potential Premier League or top division player in there as well. So 100% keep, and hopefully he can stay fit. This
one is a really interesting one, lads. A man who spent the second half of the season on loan in Preston.
A man who came out and talked about the environment at Watford being quite difficult to operate in. Ryan Porteous. Now, he's had a really interesting Watford career where at times fans love him and at other times fans really struggle with him. He played 33 times last season, 3 goals. His Watford contract has 2 years left. But as Jack says, Sam, Porteous needs a chance to show himself on the big stage. If we transfer list him, it wouldn't surprise me if he attracts interest from a big club. There we go. Your niche WD18 references over there. Don't worry, I've still got the printed out tweet next to my desk as well from you, Charlie. In all seriousness, though, I can't really talk. This is what Ryan Porteous does. I think, definitely the right time for him to move on. And also with, honestly, I can't remember if Scotland qualified for the World Cup in America.
I don't know.
No one has.
Oh, yeah,
the qualification. But how much of a fee would we get from Porteous? $1 million?
So yeah, I think we can push to 1 mil, 1.5 mil probably.
He's still quite young, isn't he?
So
I think he'll be wanting if Scotland are in the World Cup, he'll be wanting because he's been out of favour since that red card in Germany against Germany. I think he'll be wanting to play minutes so he can get back into that squad.
Spent the last 4 games on loan at Preston on the bench, not coming on.
26 years old. Transfermarkt says he has a market value of €3 million. So we're looking at what, like 1.5, 2 tops. Lads, I think this is a no-brainer that we move Porteous on. To be honest, I don't think he really wants to be here anymore. He's probably not going to play as much as he wants. I'm just not sure it's just worked out. And Watford actually make a profit, right? Because we got him on a free. So,
yeah,
I
exactly.
think we did put down some money, but no hard feelings for Porto. I think him and Hoot had a good bromance, and I just think when you look at like someone like a Banqua and the improvement that Matty Pollock's made, I just don't think he's the right kind of player that we want, and I think he'll go back to Scotland personally.
the floor's yours, Charlie, on a Banqua. I mean, I think all of us lads will say keep, but why could this be one of the most important bits of business for Watford if we get it done?
Yeah, I think I said it on the last video how highly I rate him, and for a player of his age and the attributes that he's got, he's even broken into the Ireland senior team recently with Rocco Vata. He was the under-21s captain. I just think he's an outstanding young player, and he made a few mistakes last season, but that was his first really half season he's had at this level. I honestly think he could, if he plays in the full championship campaign, I think he could be one of the best defenders in the league and probably get a move to the Premier League in a couple of years. I think he's that good in terms of the skill set he's got. He's dribbling out, which is a bit of a superpower. You don't see many centre-halves who can do that. His pace, his power, his recovery, I think he's exceptional. So if we can get him on a permanent, I think that would be a huge signing for us this summer.
Agreed. I also think he complements Pollock really well, and it looks like Pezzolano plays a 4 at the back, and having a Banqua's athleticism and the way he covers the ground, I think will be really, really important, especially if we want to play a higher line as well. So we're all agreed on James Abankwah coming back to Watford permanently. All signs look like hopefully he'll be coming back alongside Caleb Wiley, which I've just fast forwarded a little bit on just because those two are mentioned as returning loanees, and he's another keep, right, guys? Sam?
Yeah, definitely. Really, really impressive, and I think we'll see him kick on even more this season if he does stay.
Cool. This one, lads, I'm interested. I'm going to go Charlie, Sam, myself. James Morris.
I would keep James Morris. I just think it might not be the best for him, but as a club and as a team and as a squad, you need those personalities, those people who, on the top level, you saw it with like Darren Fletcher and stuff for Man United, Darren Gibson, players like that. You always have those men who always come in, never moan. Do you know what I mean? Gives everything. He's not going to start all the games, but we've seen him playing at the start of last season, left side for back 3, which I thought was pretty impressive. He has got decent kind of passing on him. He might not have the kind of the physical attributes that you need in the Championship, but you need to have these squad members, and I would keep him personally.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking this one would split opinion a bit more, but I also I'm leaning towards keeping James Morris. I think if he wants first team football to play every week, and he's how old is he now? 24, 25, Morris, I think.
23.
23. So he's going to want to be play every week. So I do think he will leave, but I don't think he should be anywhere near starting, or even as an option off the bench. But I do think that, I don't know, there's potential here for just not even a rotation player. I just think he's serviceable and can play obviously in that left back role. If there's a back 5, if he can play at left centre back, it's difficult. I am just leaning towards keeping him, but I do think he'll leave.
He's got 1 year left on his contract. I think if you sell him, you're getting nothing. You're getting peanuts. Like, I think he's better off running down his contract and just giving it another season at Watford. Then he can choose what he wants to do. I don't see that benefit. Could we loan him to League One? Is that going to hike his value up? I can't see it. I think keep would be the best option. Jacob, what are you thinking?
I would sell, lads. I disagree with both of you. I think, firstly, Morris needs to leave for his own sake to get game time and to play regular football. I think he did well. Let's be honest, lads. If you look at his ability, his best position was left centre-back of a back 3. At Championship level, as an out-and-out left-back, I don't think he can do it. I think the league below would be good for him. And I think if I'm from Watford's point of view, we got him on a free when he was released from Southampton. We can sell him to a League One club for 200-300 grand and we move on. I just think this idea of like him being a squad player and filling in, realistically, how likely is that? Because we're not going to play a back three often, from what I'm reading. It's going to be a 4 at the back all the time, and he's not going to play as a centre back. He'd have to fill in as a left back every so often, and maybe for the cup games, I guess. And maybe you look at like Carabao Cup and FA Cup, but I'd move on personally.
And there's reports that left back coming in, isn't there? That Andrew French is saying. So, yeah, Jacob, you have kind of twisted my arm a bit. I just can't I don't know, selling him for like 200 grand just feels a bit, especially because he's such a good character. But what the comments saying? So the comments decide.
Great. There's some really, really good comments, and as a guy, like we've all heard how much of a great bloke James Morris is. It's nothing to do with that, but I think if you look at what he's offered, I think cleverly gave him a really good opportunity at Watford to be that left centre back of a back three. That's quite rare that you have a player like Morris in terms of his stature playing in a back three as well, and his passing range is really, really good. But ultimately, I think when you look at our squads, is he really going to play? No. He needs game time. We can't offer that. He's a great pro, but I'd move on. I think it's interesting. I think it's quite 50-50. Most 50% say keep, 50% say sell. I'm going sell, but I'll let you lads have the final call. We'll go with the majority.
Yeah,
I think the comments are just siding on sell, so I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy to put him in there. It's an interesting one.
I don't think a loan here is an option because he's got 1 year left, so there's not much point in sending him out on loan now. If we're going to lose him for free in the summer anyway, other than getting his wages off the books. But in terms of development, not really a loan. But I think I'll go sell just because. I mean, I know I said I would quite like to keep him, but with what I think will actually happen, I think he'll move on. So yeah, I think he'll go.
Yeah, and I just to add on that, his contract does run out at the end of the season, so loaning, as Sam said, would be pretty much pointless. I mean, it would be pointless. So we're going to go with sell for James Morris. That's the longest one we've had so far, by the way, lads. We move on to Antonio Tikvich, who's been out on loan for the second of the season.
Send him out on another one.
It was interesting though, because I mean, I'd sell him 100%. I thought he was woeful last season, particularly in those first 5-10 games that he did, appearances across pre-season and the cups. But he did make an appearance against Fulham in the FA Cup in January. And yes, he conceded a penalty, but on the whole, it was actually improved. He'd improved quite a bit, playing with the under 21s or whatever. But yeah, I still haven't seen enough, and yeah, he can go.
The way you
what's his actual?
Get rid.
What's his position? Is he like the left? Is he a left centre back?
The Wesley Hoot role.
I mean, we've got to look. If Serralta's going, who are our centre backs? The Banqua's not nailed on. Matty Pollock, Caben injury, so we've got to be wary of those centre back options.
Agreed. I would still loan him out. I'd loan Tikvich.
I think he's going to have another loan.
I mean, you make a good point though, Charlie. When you look at the list, right, we've said Porteous to go, Morris to go, Tikvich to go out on loan, which then leaves us Pollock, Caben, a Banquet. I'm confident a Banquet's coming back, to be honest. If I was going to go with my gut, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. I mean, I don't know that, but you kind of get an impression, especially with the Udinese stuff that's going on. Porteous could be the surprise one looking at this that goes on to actually be involved.
And like whenever you get a new head coach, normally they all report in for pre-season and he has a look at everyone. So it's just one to think about because Bonner's gone now. And yeah, if we can't really bank on just a Banquet, Pollock and Caben. So you're going to need a fourth, 100%.
Yeah, and I think Ben makes the point, hopefully we'll sign a centre-back as well as a Banquet. Mark Schofield, not good enough as one of the two centre-backs. We will bring in another centre-back, lads. We will see. Mark, we will see. But we'll go Tikvich and loan, lads. You agree on that one?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, majority wins that one. But I don't see him having a future at Watford. We'll go with loan for now.
Okay. Someone who has been at Watford for a long time, Ryan Andrews. Now, really interesting because I'm sure I don't know. I'm sure Andrews wouldn't have been happy with the amount of games he started in the second half of the season. So, Sam, when you look at his contract situation, Andrews, 2028, so 3 years left. He's had his full second season at Watford. He's homegrown. He's come through the academy. What would you do with Andrews, who with Ngakia really making himself the first choice in the second half of the season?
Difficult one with Ryan Andrews, because I don't think he progressed last season potentially as much as he would have wanted to, and us as fans would have wanted to. Being one of our own as well, I think there's that also added sentiment with Ryan. A difficult one season for him, falling out of the. I don't think he got selected for the England development squad either. Charlie, if you could correct me on that if that's wrong.
In the last 2 or even 3 camps.
Yeah, so he's been left out on that. I'd keep Ryan. I think he's got some really, really positive attributes. I do think that he is one of the best ball strikers we've got at the football club. Him in the final third is as good as anyone that we've got in the squad. I know that might sound weird saying that as a right back, but in terms of his shooting and overall his crossing, I think it's really, really good. But I do want to see him kick on this season a bit more. And I mean, I think he does provide competition for Ngakia. I do think that's one of the reasons why we saw the best of Ngakia this season, because of that pressure from Ryan Andrews. But yeah, I want to see a bit more from Ryan this season, but I'd still keep him.
Charlie?
Yeah, I'd 100% keep him. Like, I don't think we should be writing off him just because he's had a tough second half of the season. Like, we know what his strengths are. And yeah, you can see by the reports, and it is likely that the new head coach is going to be playing with a back 4, but you never know. Like, coaches aren't just wedded to one system. If we do go at 3 at the back, Ryan Andrews is the perfect right wing back. So again, it's going to be a new case of the new head coach is going to come in and he's going to have a look at him, and he might. I was reading something about his fullbacks, and he was talking about he always likes one to be really advanced and kind of have that left centre back. Could be James Morris, kind of tuck in to make a free and have that kind of elbow shape. So you never know. Yeah, I'd 100% keep Ryan personally. I think there's a player in there. I think he's got really good attributes, and I think he could be a good player at this level.
On that, Charlie, so what you said about the fullbacks, are you saying that he likes one of the two to be really aggressive?
Yeah, I can't remember at which club. It was probably most likely Valladolid. But yeah, he was definitely talking about one of the fullbacks being really high and wide, and when that happens, kind of the left back tucking in to make a back 3.
Interesting.
But I can't remember the details of that, so I don't want to put too much that. But I can see Luke in the comments said that Pesolano has played with a back 3 in Brazil and another club. So yeah, for me, Ryan's got every chance to be starting for Watford, in my opinion, next season. Although, yeah, it's healthy to have him and Ngakia. I think 2 solid options at this level.
I take it back because I thought he was wedded to a 4. So it does seem like Pesolano can switch to a back 3. I think actually, lads, this one will really depend on the system that he goes with, really, because if he says he's going to play a back 4, then Andrews' game time might be slightly more limited, because I think if you're saying that, Wiley will be the more aggressive fullback on the left-hand side. We saw that. But then at the same time, I definitely wouldn't sell. It's either whether you go out for a loan for his season, but I think I'm leaning to more towards keep. So keep Ryan Andrews. And that brings me on to João Ferreira, lads, because he was someone who a lot of people have forgot about. And I wonder, Sam, if we maybe need to learn from last season about the redemption arc of certain players. Now, with Imran Louza coming back in the picture after his loan at Lorient, second half of the year, he came back in, player of the season. João Ferreira, who is still on Watford's books, by the way. I know he hasn't featured since the 22-23 season, but I really liked him. I remember you lads always used to take the mick at me because I used to love João Ferreira. It was like I was his agent. Whisper it quietly, Sam, is all I'll say.
Yeah, it's a difficult one here because I don't feel like I know too much about him. I haven't really watched him since he's gone out on loan, and from the bits that we did see of him under it'd have been under Bilic and Chris Wilder, wouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, he seemed okay. He seemed serviceable at this level. But again, I am just leaning towards sell because I think there could be a value there I know the sale of Udinese has gone through, but we're still going to want to get some money to balance the books. And I think we could get a fee for him. And I'm not too sure if he'd necessarily want to stay at Watford either. So I'm leaning towards sell here.
So
I've seen the guys in the comments talking about him playing centre back. So I've looked at his season at Braga this year, and he's played a lot of games at centre back, especially the first half of the season. Even he's played a lot in the Europa League for Braga at centre back. 20 games at centre back, 11 games at right back. Interesting. And again, I'm going to put him in the category of he's going to be one that Pezzolano is going to look at and probably with a fresh set of eyes and make a decision on. Although the fact that he's been playing at that level in the Portuguese league and in Europa League, he has got a bit of stock compared to someone like James Morris. So you've got more chance of getting a fee for him. It's so hard to say keep when you haven't seen much of him. I would probably, just because I haven't seen much and I think he's got some value, I would say sell. But if you two override me, that's absolutely fine.
Well, I'm going to go with keep, Sam. I've got to back my boy here because I think this could be a phenomenal redemption arc. This could age horrifically. But if you're saying that he converts to a back three and he can play right back, he's an asset for the squad, and he's only 24.
I'm looking forward to the prediction video. Jacob predicting João Ferreira for player of the season. I mean, I'm sort of getting some deja vu from last year doing this video when Quadro Bar's name was brought up, and I completely forgot he still played for us, and he went on to have a brilliant season. Likewise, I've forgotten about João Ferreira, but unfortunately, Jacob, I am going to side with Charlie here. Going to sell.
It can't get worse, can it? Okay, João Ferreira, we'll go with sell. The people have spoken. Just to put it on record, I would keep him and make him captain. I need to see those locks in full flow once again. João Ferreira in the sell category. Jeremy and Gakia, lads.
Keep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Got a
Ramirez a span.
Loan. I don't think with the way that we're gearing towards this season, with the things that we're hearing with moving forwards, aiming for promotion, I don't think it's going to be a season for academy players coming through, particularly with Jimmy Gilligan leaving the club as well. So I think a loan for Leo is best.
I reckon he might just stick in the academy because I don't think his style suits like a League Two loan. Do you know what I mean? That kind of tick-tacker style. So
maybe abroad.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd like to see him go out on loan, and we'll keep him there. But wouldn't be surprised if he sticks with the 21s or the 18s.
I think he's a player, Leo. He's got a bit. The boy. Imran Loser, lads. Look, we all want to keep him. Probably the question is, do we keep him? No, wrong one.
I do think he stays. I said this from last season. It won't shock me if we'll come on when we come on. We've spoken about Dan Batman, who we expect will leave, meaning there'll be a decision on who to make the club captain. I know we'll come on to Musa Sissoko, but if he's not named club captain, it will not shock me if Imran Loser is named as the new club captain with a new contract as well. I think he'll stay.
What offer would you accept for Loser to sell him?
I would say it would have to be way over his value for me to consider selling Loser. That's how important I think he is to the team.
How much is that?
Yeah, I haven't really given you an answer there.
How long has he got in his contract?
So his contract, give me 2 seconds. It's just loading here. His contract runs out in June 2028.
Still time on there.
He's 26 years old. Watford's player of the season. I think transfer markets have valued him at around £4.5 million. 4.5. I think you'd have to be looking at above 10 for us to sell him, for me, at least.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say above 8. I think if we got above 8 million, I think we'd sell him.
Let's keep him, lads. Look, these are the noises we're hearing from the club about keeping our best players. That's what Gino said in the statement. He was sensational at the back end of last season. Again, that kind of dictator, that's something that the new head coach apparently wants and has used, dropping into a back three. Let's build the team around him. He is top quality. If if he's a key player for us next season, we've got a lot better chance. So, yeah, let's keep him. Give him the armband. Let's build the team around him.
Great point.
There is, yeah.
Just to jump in. Let's hope the redemption arc doesn't disintegrate under the new head coach for Loser. He hated Ishmael but thrived under Clevs.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up just now when I saw Laura's comment. Yeah, I am slightly worried about that because we've seen with Loser that I think his performances are largely dictated by who the manager is and whether he gets on with the manager. So I think a lot of it depends on not only whether bids come in, but I mean we've spoken about Pezzolano judging a lot of managers, judging a lot of players in pre-season. I think it might be a case here of Imran Loser judging Pezzolano in pre-season as well before deciding if he's going to stay.
We put
What a bar!
That's really lovely. It's like a versus caption, that, Sam. You know, Edu Kiembe, Charlie.
I think he's a keep for me. Again, he kind of in that. I think he's had a really good season for his ability, and I think he's got strengths. If we're to get promoted, I don't think he should be starting. I don't think he's got the overall all-round game, especially if like someone like Hector Cipriano coming in. I think Kiembe is better going forward. Defensively, I don't think he's great at all, but I think he's a type of person and personality that you need in the squad, so I'd keep him.
I would agree with that. Sam, before you answer, I'll just throw this into the mix. He has 1 year left in his contract.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he signed a new deal, to be honest with you. I'd keep him. I'd keep Edo, but like Charlie said, I wouldn't want him starting. But he does pop up with some crucial goals. After Bayo, I think he was our second top scorer, scoring 7 or 8 goals last season. And like Ryan Andrews, like I said before, he's a really, really good striker of the ball. What was it? He hit the post or the bar 3 or 4 games in a row as well at the back end of the season. So yeah, I'd keep him. I think he does offer something valuable.
Agreed.
He's only 26. I thought he was older.
Agreed. Duomo, absolutely a keep.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully stays fit for longer periods.
Deli Bashiru, on the other hand, who has been rumoured with a move away. I think this is one where we'll have to do the sort of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Charlie, Sam, and me. But Tom Deli Bashiru has 1 year left on his deal. He's 25 years old. He's been linked with a move away. Do you keep, loan, or sell Charlie?
I think the future of Tom Deli will kind of be dictated about whether Imran Loser stays or not. I think if Imran Loser stays, I could see Tom Deli going, and that's selling him. He's still of an age where I think we can get a fee for him. He's kind of got that good stock in terms of coming from the City Academy. I think he could get another Championship club, probably at a similar level. I could even see him going abroad, like to a lower Serie A team or something like that, and probably doing well. Maybe Udinese, who knows? It's so hard to sell. If we're saying keep Imran Loser, because who have we got centre midfield? Hector Cipriano, Imran Loser, Pierre Duomo. If we're playing 4, like Kiembe Sissoko, that's 5 or 6 already. I think by that logic, we haven't even talked about kind of George yet. I know he plays deeper, but I think Tom Deli might have to be on the sell. If we're keeping Loser, Tom Deli to be sold, which I hate to see because I really like him.
I agree. I really like Deli Bashiru as a guy, but ultimately, Sam, we have to sell now, don't we? I mean, like unfortunately, his injury record, he's got 1 year left in his deal, and if £8 million, if there was any substance in that, which I'm not sure if there was or not, but let's be honest, if we're getting anything near that, it's not even an option, is it? Yeah,
I'm really, really upset to say this because, top guy, Tom Deli, one of football's good guys. It's tough, but I do just think if the right fee comes in, it's going to be best for us, and I think probably best for him as well, just to try something new. He's been now at Watford since, I want to say he made his debut under Nigel Pearson, so he's been there for a while now. since pre-COVID. So yeah, unfortunately, I think it might be time for him to move on. I think like you inferred before, Charlie, I think this stinks of Serie A as well. I could see him going to Italy or something.
I think one thing to consider that you don't really think about when you talk about this kind of thing, but in terms of like, he'd be a great player to have in the squad and coming off the bench and rotating. And we've seen on Instagram he's out there having a great time. Are they in Mykonos or somewhere? Like, he looks really good mates with Quadro Bar and Imran Loser. So it might be one where you go just fight for your place. He's got the quality there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him keep, but I just think he's a lot easier to sell than someone like Sissoko and even Pierre Duomo. I think, I think sell is maybe the logical thing that happened, but I would love to see him stay, to be honest.
I am really torn on the Sissoko one, lads, because I think if you looked at it in isolation and you looked at Sissoko and you looked at probably the wage packet he's on, he's 35 years old. He's got one more year left on his contract. Most people would be like, sell. The only problem is that it's actually, if you wanted to move him on, firstly, very, very difficult for another club to come in and take that player, especially on that wage. I don't know the exact figure, but I'd imagine it's one of the top earners at the football club. But number two, in terms of leadership and experience, it seems like he's a very, very popular figure inside the dressing room. So I don't really think we have a choice here, Sam, do we, in terms of keep? Because in terms of sell, I generally can't see any club coming in and paying unless it's a Saudi move or Qatar.
Yeah. Has anyone got Saudi's number, or where's who? Do us a favour.
Right? It's like
do us a favour, Wes. Yeah, unfortunately,
paid for him, would he?
No, they wouldn't have.
Maybe a cross pass just a bit, but it's going to be hard to get to move him.
Yeah, this is one that's out of our hands, and again, this is the issue of handing out to aging players big contracts. And we've spoken about this beforehand, but we're going to have to put up with Musa for at least another season, and potentially another one after that. As I just saw,
that's a bit harsh.
Did Lou just put in the comments?
How many goals did he score for us last season? How many matches did he goals?
He did have a bit of a weird season because he started quite well. I'd say for the first 10 games, he was very good. And then for that middle sort of 25, 30 games, it wasn't good at all. And then for the last 5 or 6 games, he was actually quite good again. We moved him further forward. Lou was on about Tom Delly for a second year. I think just 1 year with Musa, I think we'll be riding it out, and I think he'll stay. I
will say Sissoko was a lot better on the right-hand side, I thought. I don't think he's a central midfielder anymore. And even when you think of his career, the best portion of his career when he was playing on the right-hand side, whether that was for Spurs or whether that was for France. So clearly that's his best position.
Yeah.
I think it's a keep, lads. And I think most importantly, it's just the idea of him not playing every single game. We said that under Cleverly. It's not he shouldn't really at 35 been playing every other game for Watford, which he was, right? So I think we keep him in the squad. We keep him as a leadership figure. He'll want to stay.
Do we think if Dan Batman moves on, he'll be made club captain?
Yeah, I think so.
You think
Unless it's Loser, right?
Yeah. I've said it before. I've said it a few times now. I just think it could be a big part of getting Loser to stay is giving him the armband, which I don't think many Watford fans would be against at all.
Keep, loan or sell Georgie Chatford-Datsy, Charlie?
Yeah, I'd love to see us keep him, but I think realistically, and I know we want to keep hold of our best players, and there's been talk of that, and maybe I doubt it, but maybe Gino will dig his heels in. But I think we'll get an offer that is good enough to sell him. We only bought him for £2 million, so the markup and what we're going to get, the profit is going to be a lot. I think we could get like 15 for him, maybe. And yeah, although they want to keep their best players, and I love Georgie as a player, but I get the feeling that he maybe, not that he doesn't love Watford, but I reckon he'd be ready for a move. I reckon he's watched his mate just win the Champions League. He'll probably want a bit of European football, and yeah, I think we're going to sell him and we'll get a decent fee for it. And hopefully I know we've said this every year for the last probably 5 years. Hopefully we can reinvest that money. But yeah, if we can get a good fee for him, I think, unfortunately, this was the last season of Georgie.
Have you been looking at his Instagram again, Charlie?
I haven't, but has he ever posted about Watford once?
Never.
Do you know what? I think you make a really good point there, Charlie, about he would have saw his really good mate Kvaratskhelia last night playing on the biggest stage in the biggest moments, leading and waving the Georgian flag as well. There is a part of Georgie, no doubt, he'll be wanting to play European football. But Sam, I agree with Charlie. I would cash in with Chafadazi, and let's be honest here, when he signed that 5-year deal, we all knew what that meant. It was the same with Pedro. There is a release clause in his contract. I guess the question is, Sam, is how much are we talking there? How much do you reckon Pozzo's put in to Georgie's contract, which goes, I'm happy with that, he can go?
Yeah, it's tough, but I do think now with the financial circumstances, we are going to be able to make him a bit more hard to get. I think if we get a bid, like Charlie said, in the region of 14 to 18 million, I think that would be accepted. I think anything above that would be a huge bonus. A good turnaround, a good player. But unfortunately, I think when we said the exact same thing about Yasser Spria last summer, I think it's probably the right time to cash in here.
I'd agree.
For all parties, yeah.
Quite, again, similar to a couple of players where it really splits opinion. Someone said, Robbie, love Georgie, but 2 goals and 6 assists is really poor, not against selling him. Phillips talks about Chafadazi's end product, but then on the same breath, Luan says the end product debate regarding Georgie makes me rip my hair out. He has it in abundance. The question is, I guess, if he had a different front line in front of him, would his numbers be better? And that's always the question you've got to ask. But I think there's no doubt in terms of his goals, they should have been higher. Assists, I guess, is down to the players in front of him. But hey, look, Luke makes the point. I'd sacrifice him to get a 20-goal striker. And I think we've agreed there that Georgie Chafadazi to move on.
I'd sacrifice a toe for a 20-goal striker.
The things he does for this football club, Mr. Charlie Zazzera.
Tom Sam.
Oh, Incy. I think this is where the love affair comes to an end, lads. Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's time to let you go, son.
You sound like he's a fish and you're putting him out to the ocean.
Yeah, no, I think time to get the. I was about to say get our average age of the squad down, but it was quite young anyway, and it is useful to have experience in there. But I think, how old is Ince now? 33, like 32, 33. He's probably going to want to end his career playing some football. So, yeah, I think time to move him on.
1 year left.
Who will take him? Wrexham?
Wrexham's not a bad shout. I've always thought he'd go back to Reading at some point, maybe with the new ownership.
Maybe. Yeah.
League One could be quite a good move for him. I agree. Tom Ince to move on. That leaves Xavier Messiah Edwards. Charlie, you got a few more minutes towards back end of last season.
Yeah, he's done really well for the academy this year, especially in the Youth Cup. Whenever I think he's come on, he's applied himself excellently, and it just shows when a player's kind of playing at 100% in the energy levels. He's quite a small lad. I think maybe like a League Two or a League One loan playing as a left winger would be good for him. So yeah, I'd probably say loan. I don't know if he's at that level yet, but I think a loan would be good. Like we saw with Jack Greaves, and Jack Greaves isn't on this list, and he probably should be. I don't think his loan spell in Scotland, I think he went to Ross County, wasn't as good. Maybe Jack Greaves get another loan again to an EFL club. But yeah, if we send those boys out on loan, hopefully they do well, similar to like a Shaq Ford last year, then eventually gets a move.
Agreed.
I don't know. I think I actually disagree on Zav. I'd probably keep Zav for another year, at least. I think he is still, how old is he? 18? I think getting exposure to a really high level of first team football can be really, really beneficial for someone of that age. And he's thriving in the academy under Charlie Daniels, Dan Gosling, etc. I'd probably keep him, give him another year in the academy.
Is he going to get exposure to first team football? Potso said about.
I don't think so, but I more think even the opportunity just to train with the first team will be on the bench every so often. I think is really useful, and I more mean sort of this time next year. I think I'll be sat here saying give him a loan at that point. I just think he needs another year potentially to build out his body in academy football before going out on loan and having a season in men's football.
There we have it. I'm going to go with loan because I think the way I look at it, Sam, is if any of those lads get an opportunity to go out on loan, I think that's way more beneficial than just sticking around training, personally. Whether that's National League, League Two, for me, it just makes a lot more sense. But I do understand what you're saying, especially with like the really young lads like Xavier. So we'll see. We'll go with loan. Technically, he's staying regardless. So we'll go with loan. That puts us on to Quadro Bar, who... The three names put in Andrew French's article about Potso not selling Charlie was Georgie Chatfordazzi, Imran Loser, and Quadro Bar. Is there an element that injury picked up has probably stopped teams coming in for him this summer?
Yeah, well, on deadline day, there was a report that Wolfsburg were interested in him. Quadro, save those, get those thigh muscles, get those groins relaxed, rested, and get ready for a big season to absolutely terrorize the Championship. He is keeping us, and if he stays fit, he'll be like the bits that we did see from him, the minutes that he played, he was devastating. So if we can keep him fit, he'd be massive for us next season. Big fat keep.
I'd go keep, Sam.
Definitely, yeah. One thing I'd say about Bar is his impact is so strong that with the minutes he played last season, I'd go as far as saying if we didn't have Quadro Bar, it could have been a very different story where we could have ended up, and it could have been a relegation battle. And if we had Bar for the whole season without his injuries, I think we could have been looking at top six. I genuinely think there's two extremes.
I still think with Bar, just a side point, I don't think he needs to be a starter every game. Like I know that like the debate will rage on, but we need to preserve him, and like we can't like derail his career by him getting another big injury. So like him being coming off the bench as an option, like obviously there's how many games there is, but yeah, I think he could be a key player if he stays fit, which is crucial.
Rocco Batta, no brainer, lads.
Yep, keep.
Mamadou Doumbia, no brainer.
Yep, Big Mama.
He's got the shirt at the minute, so obviously, apparently, we obviously a striker is going to be a priority, but he's shown really great signs at his age last season. So for me, he's got the shirt. Let's see who comes in, but I think competition for him would be good.
Back-to-back keeps. Jorge Hurtado, Sam.
I forgot about him. So he was out on loan at Gillingham, was it? I think 18 months ago. Their fans absolutely loved him for, I think, the 3 appearances he made before he unfortunately tore his ACL or broke his leg. I can't remember exactly which way round it was. I'm not too sure. He's been out on loan again, hasn't he? Almost still recovering from injury. I'm not sure. I mean, I was quite impressed when he did make that cameo in the FA Cup 18 months ago as well, before he went out on loan. I think another loan would be a good one.
Yeah, he played in Greece, second tier in Greece.
Right.
Yeah, but they're B team, and he scored 11 goals in 20 games. So there's a player in there. Like I wouldn't mind another Vibesy loan like Gillingham. Do you know what I mean? To keep a closer look to him, because I remember seeing him playing on like the worst pitches, and like just the player that he is. It was funny. So I'd be interested to see him like a League One loan.
Sexy Vibes loan and Gillingham. Has that ever been in the same sentence? I don't know.
I say sexy, just vibesy.
Just yeah, sure. I did just chuck sexy in there. Hurtado, he went out on loan. He signed a pretty long contract when he signed, didn't he? He's 21, out on loan at Balk. I'd go with another loan, lads. For me, that leaves us with Amin Nabizada, who featured for England under 18s. Now, he's someone, from what you hear, is probably the pick of the bunch in terms of ceiling in the Watford Academy. He's someone that I think keeping him in and around the first team would be beneficial. I know I kind of contradict myself in saying if a young player gets an opportunity, but I think with him there'll be opportunities in Cup probably to play. So I'd keep, lads.
Yeah, like I've said before with him, I just want to see a bit more work off the ball from watching when I've watched the Watford Academy. various times, and I think at times he could release the ball a bit quicker, but that will come with age, obviously. I mean, yeah, no, I said the same about Zav, but I think it would actually, for a player like Nabizada, it's going to be more useful for him playing every week in the academy and making the bench every other game for the first team than going out on loan, I think.
It reeks of Chelsea £5 million bid.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon Chelsea?
Wow.
Just a shout out to Eddie Murray, by the way. An absolute legend of this channel. Keep Hurtado for the chaos. This is what I mean. I think another loan, a vibes loan, as Charlie says. We'll see what's happening with Hurtado. So that leaves us with the man, the myth, the legends, the litter to wrap up. Keep, loan, or sell. That actually kind of flew by, lads. 1 minute, 1 hour, 10 minutes. This one, I'm sure the live chat is going to be going off. So we're going to do it as we have done. Charlie, Sam, then me. Keep, loan, or sell Milita Rajovic. For context, before you give your answer, Charlie, he was on loan at Bromby last season. Tom cleverly said it was a developmental loan. Whatever
Still
that
laugh whenever I hear that.
Whatever that means. He signed for Watford. How long is his contract? I'm trying to... his contract is until 2028. He has 3 years left. The live chat is going off. Charlie, I think this will be the most talked about one. What would you do?
Yeah, but kick him out of his office. Yeah, for me, like, I don't know how we're going to sell him because I don't think he's got much. I just don't think he had much value from what I've... Not that I've looked at him closely at all, but I don't think his loan spell went that well. He scored a few goals, but I don't think he got into that team. And he was obviously playing his hometown. I don't know how we ended up signing him. Looks like an absolute stinker of a signing. I remember debating saying, and I'll die on this hill, that Jefferson is a better player than Milita Rajovic. 100%. But yeah, if we can sell him, I would 110% sell him.
Yeah, so yeah, time to go, son.
Off your pop.
Yeah, off your pop.
Harry Redknapp.
See me driving past Vicarage Road, wheeling my my window down. Yeah, I won't miss him, a bit like I don't miss Jebo. So yeah.
So the only I'm with you, lads. I would sell. What I would caveat it by saying is, as an option to bring off the bench for 10 minutes, would you be against it?
Yes, I would be.
Even if it was the last roll of the dice, we're 1-0 down, set pieces are coming in. No. I'm told you. Okay, we'll be selling him. I agree. Milita Rajovic, it's time to go, as Dara said in the comment section. And that wraps up keep, loan, or sell. Now, lads, is there anyone we have missed? Because at the minute, we have how many names? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 first team members. So we need how many players?
6 or 7.
What's squad size? 23, is it? 24?
6 or 7.
Come on, Gino. The window's open.
Now, what? So
we should add Cipriano into the keep.
Let's Hector the Protector. I'm just making sure Charlie's happy. It's in bold. Just make sure. So Hector Cipriano, who joins, and then Nathan Baxter will put in. Should we, or should we not for now because he hasn't been confirmed?
Yeah, no, get him in.
Okay, Nathan Baxter.
Welcome, son. This is your announcement video, mate.
What is it with this welcome, son? The use of son. Prolific. What in the Harry Redknapp? Sam's going to start talking about Benjani in a minute. But yeah, look, Nathan Baxter's through the door, Cipriano, so we still need another 5 players. Someone's gone Scott Duxbury, keep, load, or sell. Someone also did a keep, load, or sell for us 3. Huge.
What's the verdict?
The verdict is to keep all of them.
Let the comments decide.
Keep, load, or sell. Jacob, Sam, Charlie. But that is the list. So just to read it out to you, if you are listening on audio, and we'll go through it. Any last minute changes, lads, jump in, okay? Keep Eagle Selvik, Alfie Marriott, Travis Akamia, Matty Pollock, Kevin Caben, James Abankwa, Caleb Wiley, Ryan Andrews, Jeremy Ngakia, Imran Loser, Edu Kiembe, Pierre Duomo, Musa Sissoko, Kwadwo Bar, Rocco Vata, Mamadou Dumbia, Eamon Nabazada, and then Hector Cipriano and Nathan Baxter, who have come in. On loan, Miles Roberts, James Claridge, Antonio Tikvich, Ramirez Aspan, Messiah Edwards, Jack Greaves, Jorge Hurtado. Sell, Daniel Backman, Francisco Sierralta, Ryan Porteous, James Morris, João Ferreira, Tom Deli-Bashiru, Georgie Shakvadatsi, Tom Ince, and Melita Rajovic. Any last minute changes?
The Travis Akamea. I'm leaning towards a loan here and just bringing another centre half.
Just bring in another centre half, yeah?
Just bring in another centre half.
Let's do it. We'll go with that. We'll go with that, Sam.
Yeah, son.
Charlie?
Yeah, all good. I think that looks about right. I don't know, you've just moved Travis out there, but I think signing another 4 or 5 players sounds realistic. Maybe we'll keep 1 or 2 of the cells. It'll probably end up in a completely different way than we've laid out here, but I think around the right figures. I think normally we've done videos before like this, and the keep column's been pretty limited. So I feel like we're on a better path than we have been previously. So yeah, good fun. Hopefully some of it comes true. Probably none of it will.
I just want to have it on record. That man, I would have had in keep. That's all I'm going to say. João Ferreira, the redemption arc continues. Lads, we're going to wrap it up there. We've been going for a long time. It's been a long Sunday stream. Thanks so much for joining us. Any final thoughts, fellas?
Yeah,
Bye, Sam. Have a safe trip.
Thank you, Charles. Appreciate that. I might send in my occasional match reactions after the pre-season games from the beaches of Thailand, like I did when I was out in Australia as well. But yeah, we'll be back for game 1 next season.
Send your best wishes to Sam. He's off. Sam, give us a bit of detail. What's happening? What's the plan? What's the itinerary?
Yeah, I'm on a summer scouting trip for the Hornets. Paolo has sent me out to Southeast Asia. Going to the Philippines on Wednesday for a couple of weeks, and then I go to Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia. So I'm gone for about 8 weeks. Don't worry, I'll still be trying to make it onto the stream. I'm not going to be missing the some of the best videos of the summer, including our predictions video. So in one way or another, whether it's sending in pre-recorded videos or trying to join from out there, I will hopefully be on here.
Lucky lad, Sam. Living the dream. Are you taking any Watford shirts with you, by the way?
Oh, I've only packed Watford shirts, to be honest with you. Yeah.
And will we see a vlog?
Travel
vlogs with me here on WD18. If you want to see that,
have you seen In-Betweeners when they go Australia? I just imagine camp around the campfire, Sam around the campfire.
Oh God!
Oh, Sam, look after yourself. We're gonna miss you. Obviously, I haven't seen you in person since, and Charlie hasn't since the Men's Health World Cup. But God, it sounds like you're going permanently. But have a fantastic time, mate, and
thanks, mate.
Enjoy yourself. Have a great
Thank you. Yeah, keep in touch, boys. I'm sure we will.
Go on, son. Off you go.
Thanks for the memories, but it's time to say goodbye. Charlie, what's plans this week?
If I have time and energy, might look to organise some sort of Paolo insight video to find out a bit more about our new head coach if I've got time. So I'll look into that, but no promises. No promises. Keep your eyes peeled. Turn on your post notifications. I think 10% of our subscribers do at the minute, which is really, really good. So if you don't want to miss a stream, if you don't want to miss a video, if you want your Sunday nights filled, then you know where to click. But it's the 1st of June officially. I would say it's now, you can call it the 25-26 season. I felt maybe it was a little bit premature in May,
But we're about a month away till Boreham Wood away, which only means one thing: the season's coming back, football's coming back, and that was Keep, Loan or Sell Watford 2025-26 edition. Thank you so much for joining us for a long extra bumper stream on this Sunday evening. I hope you have a great week. We'll be back very soon, as Charlie said, with more content surrounding Watford Football Club. But a huge shout out to Sam, who's on his travels, Charlie for doing his thing, as always. And thank you so much to all of you for joining us. Take care of yourselves, guys. Have a great week, and up the Hornets. You want?